Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Wednesday, August the 31st. This is Bitcoin here on a monthly chart. Okay, so what I want to look at here is that if you understand volume a little bit, you'll understand that a trend, be it up or down, needs increasing volume and corrections are on lower volume. So this whole, you can see here we've had increased volume pushing up here, but all of this top here, we can see that that there hasn't, I mean, there's obviously been a lot of selling, but it's really more so that there's no buyers in a sense, because the volume's really low. It's like this move down when it broke out from here, right? When it broke out from here, it was on low volume, and then we had this move down here, it was on increased volume, increasing more than the previous bar. And then this one moved down and it was increased volume and a longer range over the previous one. This move to the upside is on lower volume than this bar here, so it's corrective. This month hasn't quite finished just yet, but it also looks corrective coming down as well. So there may be more corrective patterns going on in this little area through here. When we cut through to the daily chart, just to have a look at the volume, we can see the same thing again. We can see that if you want to read volume bar for bar, then there's an article on our website. I don't know if it's free or not, but be in the members area, but pump up the volume. It teaches you to read the price bar and the volume bar for bar. But in a nutshell, we can see this strong move down here on increased volume and the correction here on lower volume, increased volume to the downside. This move coming down through here was on lower volume and lower volume. So if that was increased, if these were increased volume, then the trend will be going further down. But the market's moving down, but it's moving down on lower volume, so it's not going to go very far, right? So so basically, looking at this daily trend, there's still pressure to the downside, and of course, you know, we're sitting on 20,000, so it's going to attract larger orders and so on. So it's going to get, you know, a bit volatile in that sort of area. That said, this particular trend to the downside here, it really looks like it's in 5 waves. So when we look at it's Ethereum, let's have a look at this crypto index. I'm just going to jump around a little bit. So the crypto index here is just the top 10 crypto. I mean, there's so many crypto indexes, but you know, they'll all be weighted to Ethereum and Bitcoin in one way or another. But from the top here, don't worry about wave A here, could be wave 1. This whole move up through here is all a bit of a guessing game, really. But the move down here is pretty clear as 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave for the third, the fourth wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then as you can see here, I don't know if you can get a grip on this, but basically here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and going up for 5. So we've got 5 waves here in this move here. So we're getting that, and this is coming from Bitcoin being on the 20,000. You know, obviously this is a so I'm just basically saying that there appears to be 5 waves down here. So that means that we could have a corrective move and then another 5 down at that point. So, you know, when we look at Bitcoin, there's a couple of pathways for Bitcoin. And I think that it's quite important to understand that this market is working with other equity assets, you know, the NASDAQ and so on. So last time we spoke, we were looking at this here, this move down here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Now, we would need to make a new low, you know, to make that there. So we can see that in most cases, we can see that we got 5 waves there. So we may get a retest here and then another 5 here and then you know, get 5 waves down here for wave 5 here. Wave 1 was a little bit longer than wave 3, so wave 5 here would need to be a bit shorter than wave 3 here. Now the first thing that people will do is they'll go back over here and they'll put this as wave A here, and then a wave B over here and a wave C over here for this. But that would be wrong, because that's not what the Nasdaq and the rest of the equity markets are telling me. So it would be like it would be like this here. It would be some other type of 5-wave structure, 3-wave structure, and 5-wave structure here. You know, be something like that. And when you look back in history, I won't go back there now, but when you go back and have a look at the 2017 thing, you have a look from the top there, you know, there was a decent sort of, there was sorts of moves like this, you know. So, you know, they've all been pretty much the same. So that's what we'd be sort of up for. The only little spanner in the works about this here is that when we look at this move down here, right? Now I could look at the Nasdaq and I could look at the S&P, but we've looked at those before and that's all good. But this time I'm going to look at Apple, because Apple's one of the big tech stocks, isn't it? So that's what creates the indices. So this top here, right, will be this top here. Now this is on the 15th of August or something or other, or something like that. And the top for the Apple was, I think, the 18th. I don't know, just a double check. Yeah, the 18th. So they're all turning much the same, you know. One of the things down here is that we could look at you know, this whole move down here can be counted in different ways. And what I mean by that is that we could count, as I just counted the index down there, and a lot of the tech stocks, not a lot of them, you can count as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and then coming down for wave 5 to finish off here. But I don't think that's the case, because in Apple's case anyway, is because if we took wave 2 top here and the low here, we've moved back above the 50% rather than the 40%. So as a wave B, that would be about right. Now from wave B down to wave C, and this is what I want to talk about now, is that it's a little bit unusual, and you'll probably start throwing stuff at me, but the thing is that this is when the Fed spoke, and normally between wave 1, 3, and 5, one of them is going to have the extension in it. Because the Fed spoke, the extension appears to be in wave 1 here. And then we were looking for wave 2, we're short, so we've got 5 waves coming down for the 3rd wave. We're looking back for the 4th wave at the moment, and we're seeing those rallies. We're getting a little 5-wave rally here, but that's simply coming from the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. So that little 5-wave rally that I just mentioned on Bitcoin or the index or whatever it was is really coming from here, and you'll see that on Ethereum as well, I guess. So crypto index. So Ethereum's got the same thing here as well. So we could look at Ethereum's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we need to go for an A wave, a B wave, 1, 2, 3. We need to sort of push up a bit higher here for Ethereum, you know, 3, 4, and 5 to finish this off here in some way or another. But at the same time, we can look at Ethereum's here as 1, 2, well, that would need to go over here. 3 and 4 and 5, or we could look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here. It's pulled back into the 50-60%, but that's not what I wanted to talk about at the moment. I wanted to stay with Apple. So there's 2 things we need to talk about here. Is that we just talked about from wave B down here, up there, to down here for wave C. Now wave 1 can have the extension in it, wave 3 is a bit smaller, and wave 5 is going to be smaller still. Wave 5 needs to be shorter, so 155, 156 for Apple, as a shorter move down here, and that way the whole move is, the ranges are diminishing to the downside. So we're looking for a low on Apple around that particular price point there. So that means that, well, you know, can that be, can we put wave B over here for the crypto index or Ethereum and all that as well, and call this in as a low down here already for that? We'll need to give that a little bit of time, but if we've got some sort of low coming into place for Apple here, that means that this thing with Bitcoin over here, this 5 waves that I'm looking for here, that may not pan out. We may end up with a situation where we've got the A wave here, the B wave, maybe another low to come in here, and then wave C over here. And then that means that we would make this wave A over here in 3 waves down, and A, B, C for wave A, and then wave B over here. And then we have this move over here, because that's pretty much what we're looking for on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and all that. And I'm just said the S&P because I'm looking at the chart to the left of my screen here. I'll just put it on the daily chart and bring it into the fold here. So with the S&P here, we've got we've had this as the A wave. We're looking for an ABC for the B wave, and we're looking down in, we're waiting for that C wave to complete, just like we're looking at Apple just then, for this B wave here, and then a C wave over here, and then another move down. So we've got the A wave, so from the whole kit and caboodle from the top here, an A wave, an ABC for the B wave, and then down for the C wave here. Now, we've also talked about having this B wave sitting over here, and we just come straight down from that point. But that's not what I'm getting from the stocks, you know, because when I'm looking at the stocks here, and all of the ranges coming down here, the first range was the largest, and then we got this one here from the Feds, which is a bit smaller, and then we've got these ones, these next ranges here, getting shorter and shorter. So I'm seeing the ranges getting shorter and shorter in all of this as well. So there's a good possibility that that the NASDAQ and the S&P can find themselves at the 61.8% mark here, probably late Thursday afternoon or something, and then start pushing up for the Friday. So we've got to kind of be a little bit, look, it may or may not happen, but we kind of, I want to move past that. So that means that Bitcoin here could, like Thursday afternoon, find a low in place here. Now, I don't know if it's going to find the low in place and push up as wave 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, 5, or find the low here and push up into this area through here. I don't know that yet. So I don't have any answers, but these are my 2 pathways. And if we do get that 5 waves down here, then that's going to be an A wave over here and then a B wave over here for that. It's not going to be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. So yeah, so that's Apple. So what we're looking for Apple here is just pretty simple. We're just looking for, you can see how this move down through here. You see how it took the low of this one out? So that forces this pattern here now to be corrective. So this is an ABC for the A wave, an ABC for the B wave, and we're going for 5 waves up here. So in the next session, we'll see a top, and then we'll see a drop. And that's what can happen for the crypto markets as well. Okay, so for the crypto markets, as I just mentioned there's probably a few more legs in them because we've got the Asian session and the European session. So we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then drop at that point. I mean, this is a crypto index, but it could be Bitcoin, it could be Ethereum. It doesn't really matter at that too much at that point. You know, there was here Ethereum here. So the A wave, the B wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and finishing off here. So just be a bit mindful about that, you know. Don't get lost in a bullish run at this point. And this can be counted in different ways, you know. So, but it has pulled back, and, you know, it has done a bit like the tech stocks have done. Bitcoin hasn't, but, you know, I mean, Bitcoin and Ethereum, to be honest, I mean, this could be counted up in different ways here. I mean, it just can, you know. If you've got it as a corrective pattern, that could be right. If you've got it as an impulse pattern, that could be right. If you've got it as wave 1 here, that could be right. No, that's not going to be right. Let me just think about that for a second. No, that's not going to be right. And the reason it's not going to be right is because we would need the S&P 500, we would need to see that as wave 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, coming back for wave 4 here, but it's pulled back way past its 38.2% retracement level. We could give it a bit of grace, but not that much. So so that's my take. It's not very helpful, I know that, but you know, it's just my educated sort of take on it at this point. I don't see any long trades or short trades in here, so I'm not going to dive into the markets and further into the structures and break them down and look for trade setups, because I'm really looking for a trend, and we're not there just yet. But you know, Ethereum could, with the other markets, just have this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then move up from there. That's kind of what we're looking for on the stocks, you know, all the stocks, well, most of them, all the stocks that settled in on the bottom here on the 17th of June, and this one here is pretty close to the 17th of June as well. So we've been looking at them as an A and a B and a C, slightly different, but yeah. So yeah, my guess is that on the bullish side we have an ABC here, pull back in 5 waves here, and then we go up from that point. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Sorry, I'm not a great help. It's just not an easy market to look at. All I can do is sort of share some things that I can see, and hopefully they sort of fill in a bit more of a jigsaw puzzle in your own mind from your own knowledge, you know. But I don't have anything just yet. My best guess has always been that these markets are just going to follow the crypto market, and some of them are just going to be a little bit you know, the structures are going to be a little bit deformed, like Bitcoin, you know. The Ethereum has got a bit more form to it, so it's kind of okayish, you know. But the Nasdaq bottomed here, it topped here, we're tracking this down here, we're looking for a turn to the upside. Of course I might have this wrong, and we may end up coming down deeper down into all of this too. So you know, we need to, if I can see that we come down here for wave C, and then we can see that we get a nice 5-wave structure to the upside here as an impulse wave, we need evidence to go long, you know. So if we get a nice impulse wave, if I can get that thing working, and then the ABC pattern here, well, then we'll just buy the ABC back here. We'll just buy it back. If we get 5 here, we can buy the pullback here, and then we can go up. You know, but if we don't get that, well, then we can't. Well, then we'll also have to look for, you know, a retest of that 15 there, and then down again at that point, you know, into a 3rd wave, 4th wave, and 5th wave, the other count that we've got, you know. So there's a little way to, there's, you know, we're coming into an important junction, and we just need to just allow everything to play out, really. That's not a biggie at this point. So, yeah, so we can move that. Put that there, put this slightly different count, but yeah, some sort of ABC, and then down for C here. That A, of course, can be wave 1 here, and just to top things off, here it's possible to consider that wave 2 up there as well. But that can't be wave 1 here, I don't think. No, just can't. So I'm going to take that off and just leave it as wave A up there, and the same as this here. I'm going to take that 2 off it. I mean, because I need to drag them into the rest of the markets, you know. That's the thing. So, alrighty, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.